ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनस्य भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। आप सभी का स्वागत है। आज
We welcome all of you to today's class on Śrīmad-Bhāgavad Gita. We are studying third chapter, verse 10 onwards. In the previous verse, Bhagavan explained that everyone should work for yajna.
नहीं तो कर्म जो है वो बंधन का कारण है।
Otherwise, karma becomes the cause of bondage.
कर्म सबको करना पड़ता है।
Everyone has to perform karma. That was explained earlier by Bhagavan. Without karma, we cannot even maintain our body. And irrespective of whoever it is, whether rich or poor, young or old, everyone has to perform karma as long as he or she is in this body. So why not perform karma according to the prescribed manner?
प्रोवाच प्रजापतिः अनेन प्रस्पश्यध्वम् एष वस्तुविष्ट कामदुक्।
Translation: in the beginning of creation, after Brahma brought forth humankind along with the performance of yajna, he said, You shall prosper by this yajna. May it become that which fulfills all objects of longing desired by you.
तो यहाँ
So here,
सृष्टि के आरंभ से ही
from the beginning of creation,
जो
it is
सत्ता है
told that the
उन्होंने
Creator,
ही यज्ञ का विधान किया है।
He created this system of yajna.
तो वास्तव में तो
So
ये
actually,
अपने अनुभव की भी चीज है
this is within our
कि
experience
कोई भी
also
संस्था है या
that
कोई भी
if any
कोई भी
institution,
कार्य
any project
जिसमें लोग कुछ कार्य करते हैं
in which people
तो
work,
वहाँ सब एक दूसरे के सहयोग से
so
ही
there
कार्य होता है।
anything can become
कोई भी
successful
संस्था
only by cooperative efforts.
चलेगी
No
नहीं,
institution can
सब व्यक्ति
function
केवल उसमें से कुछ
if
लेना ही चाहते हैं।
every member just wants to extract something for his own
सब
benefit
कार्य
but does not
समाज की
contribute anything.
भलाई है,
Similarly, this
एक प्रकार
world
से एक
is
संस्था है।
also and can be
तो ये
considered as an
इसी के
institution or a
सहयोग से
project
ही
which can continue
चलेगा।
by everyone's
अगर
cooperative
हम इसमें
effort.
से केवल लेते ही रहेंगे
If
लेते ही
we
रहेंगे
just keep taking
तो
something
स्थिति
from
ऐसी
this,
खड़ी हो जाएगी
then there will
कि
be
उसका परिणाम
chaos,
ये होगा कि
and the result will
हमें
be that
खतरा पैदा हो जाएगा।
our own life will be in danger.
जैसे किसी भी संस्था में अगर आप
Like
लेना
any
लेते ही रहेंगे
institution, if you do
तो
not
संस्था
act,
बंद हो जाएगी,
work in that, but
क्योंकि
you just keep taking
संस्था के
something from
सदस्य
there, the
उसके
institution will
उसमें
close down
फिर
because
उसमें दिवाला
institution
निकल
can
जाएगा,
function
उनको
only
इनाम
by
मिलते
the
हैं
cooperative
तो वो
efforts
निश्चित रूप
of
से फिर
people.
अगर
Like if there is a company
महीने के अंत में
and at the end of the month,
तनख्वाह
everyone
मिलती है तो
is
दूसरे लोग
getting
भी
his
वही काम
salary,
करेंगे और वो
then but
कंपनी
he can
उसके
get
सदस्य
salary
बनेंगे।
only if he does
अगर
some
सिर्फ
work
केवल तनख्वाह
and the
की खबरें नहीं
company
करें
gets income from that.
तो उसका दिवाला निकल जाएगा,
But if the
बंद हो
person does
जाएगा।
not perform any activity, just keeps
तो इसी
taking money,
प्रकार
then the
सृष्टि
company will
में
become bankrupt.
हमारे समाज में चाहे
Similarly, in this
किसी भी
creation, in
संस्था
our
हो, एक परिवार
society,
हो, एक गांव
any
हो,
place, whether it is a family
एक
or
देश
a
हो,
village,
तो वहाँ सबके सहयोग
any
से ही
country,
कार्य होता है।
then
हमारी
prosperity is
सरकारें
possible only by cooperative work of people.
हमारे देश में
Our governments, they
भी
administering this
वो भी
country,
इसलिए
so they also need money. That's why they
हर
impose
जगह जीएसटी
taxes,
कर लगाते हैं,
income tax,
सड़क
sales
बनती है तो
tax.
वहाँ भी टोल टैक्स लगाते हैं।
If you go on the road, there also
तो
you
अगर
have to
हम
pay toll
कर की
tax.
चोरी करते रहें और कर ना दें तो सरकार कहाँ से
So if we
लोगों
steal
को
if
देगी?
you do not pay the tax, how will the
तो
government
हम
continue
आशा
to
कर सकते हैं
function?
कि हमको सारी
So
सुविधाएं मिल
we
जाएंगी
hope that we should get all the
और स्वयं
facilities,
सहयोग नहीं देंगे तो
but
कहाँ से
if we do
देंगे?
not give our own contribution in that,
इसलिए ये
then how can we get the
जो
facility?
एक प्रक्रिया
That is
है वो
why
इसलिए
the
बनाई गई
system of tax has
और
been
जिनके पास
created,
में ज़्यादा
and
सामर्थ्य है
those
उनको
who
ज़्यादा
have
देते
more
हैं और जिनके
capacity,
पास में नहीं है
more
उनको
tax is levied on
कम
them.
लिया जाता
Those
है।
who have less capacity, either
तो उसी
they
से ही
less tax is levied on them or they do not pay
चलता
tax.
है।
So this is
तो
how
वही
the country
प्रक्रिया
can
पूरे
function.
संसार में
Similarly,
भी लागू है,
the same
इसीलिए
the same
प्रजापति
concept applies to the whole world also.
जिन्होंने प्रजा की
That is
सृष्टि
why
की
the Prajapati who created
तो उन्होंने
this
भी यज्ञ
world,
साथ में ही
Brahma,
बनाया
he
और
also,
उनके यज्ञ के
along
द्वारा
with
ही
the
इसलिए वो
creation, he
सर्वव्यापी
gave
भी
the
बने।
he
तो जो भी
prescribed
हमारे
yajna,
समाज में होंगे उनको
that
यज्ञ करना
people
चाहिए
who in the society they
और
should
यज्ञ करने
perform
से ही उन्होंने
yajna.
कहा कि इससे तुम्हारी समृद्धि होगी,
And he also said that you
ऐश्वर्य
will
होगी।
prosper by this yajna
समृद्धि
only.
होने का मतलब यही है कि अगर
So
हम
here
व्यवस्था
prosperity means
और
that if
मेहनत
we just keep taking
और
but we do not give
समझदारी से
anything,
करें
then how can we attain
तो
prosperity?
संसार में जितनी भी चीजें हैं
Because all the things in this
वो
world,
सीमित होती हैं।
they are limited.
तो अगर उनकी वृद्धि ना हो या उनको
So if they
समान
do
रूप
not
से
expand,
इच्छा
if
अपनी आवश्यकता के अनुसार ना बांटा जाए, एक व्यक्ति ज्यादा ले
if
लेगा
if it is if the distribution of wealth is done
तो
disproportionately,
विषमता पैदा हो जाएगी
then there will be chaos,
और उसी से फिर अनेक प्रकार की लड़ाई झगड़े खड़े होते हैं।
and then it will lead to lot of fighting.
तो इसलिए उन्होंने कहा कि आपकी जो इच्छाएं
So
हैं
that is
इस
why he
यज्ञ से
said
पूरी होंगी।
that your desires will be fulfilled by this yajna.
और
This is why the yajna
और
system
जैसा
was
कि
created.
पिछले प्रवचन में मैंने कहा
And
था
as I said in the previous class
देव
also,
पूजा, दान और संगतिकरण
that peace is possible by Dev Puja Dan.
इस संसार के
So the Devata
व्यवस्थापक हैं,
who are
उनकी
administering
सहायता
this
करना चाहते हैं,
world,
वे हमारी सहायता करें।
we cooperate with them
दान
so
देना
that they also help us.
तो दान देना
And giving charity, that is also a very
वो
important
केवल
limb of
कर्म
yajna.
ही नहीं, हमारे जीवन का ही
It
एक
is not just
उद्देश्य
during
है।
yajna, it should be a principle in our life
तो हम भोजन करते
to
हैं
give charity. Like
स्वयं
we
भी
eat
भोजन
food,
करें, और जो आसपास
if we just eat
की
ourselves
आवश्यकता है उनको भी
and those who are near
अगर
us,
हमारी सामर्थ्य है तो।
if we should give them also within our capacity.
पहले इस प्रकार की प्रथा थी
So earlier,
समाज में,
this sort of system was there in the society.
अभी नहीं है उस प्रकार से।
Now we do not have such
कालपूर्व
system.
में
People have
क्या है,
forgotten. I remember in the village,
धर्मशास्त्र के ज्ञाता नहीं थे।
they were not some experts in Dharma Shastra.
गांव के लोग भी जब
They were
भोजन
not
करते थे
educated. But I remember when they used to sit for having
आसपास पक्षी
food,
पशु
then before
जैसे
starting
देखा
to
जाता
eat,
है, कुत्ते
everything
बिल्ली
was open there.
आगे
So
बढ़ते
nearby,
हैं,
if there was some dog or
उनके
birds,
लिए भी
then
डालते
they
हैं।
used to give food to them also
होता
first.
था हमारी माता जी जब
When food
घर
was
से
cooked in
पहली
the
चपाती
home,
निकाल कर
so
देती
I
थी।
remember my mother used to give the first chapati to
तो
the
ऐसे
cow.
एक प्रकार से देने की प्रथा थी, ये भी एक यज्ञ है।
So this sort of system was there for
और
sharing,
मैंने
for
देखा उसको
contributing.
भोजन
And
करने से
I
पहले
have seen
पहला
some
टुकड़ा
people
अग्नि में डालते हैं,
before before
उसको
eating
बोलते हैं
the
तथा
first
स्वाहा।
piece of food they give in the agni, in the
इस
fire,
प्रकार से
and
वो
they chant
इसको
some mantra.
प्राणाय स्वाहा समानाय स्वाहा व्यानाय स्वाहा करके, मतलब वो भी एक प्रकार का यज्ञ है जो हम भोजन कर रहे हैं हमारी
So eating food is also a type of yajna.
तो उसमें आहुति डाल रही
So
है।
there is the fire of
तो
digestion
यज्ञ
in
के
the
जैसे
stomach, and we are
इस
feeding food into that.
श्लोक की व्याख्या
So
में
that is also a type of
शंकर
yajna.
भगवान
So as I
विष्णु
had
के द्वारा
explained earlier, yajna means Vishnu also,
हवन कुंड में जो अग्नि है
and the
उस पर
fire
जिसकी आहुति होती है
sacrifice,
उसको भी यज्ञ बोलते हैं।
that is also yajna.
तथा उस उद्देश्य न द्रव्य त्याग याग। तो हमारे उपनिषदों में
So in
ये जो
our
क्रियाएं
Upanishads,
हैं यानी कि
these
भोजन करने की इस
activities
क्रिया को
like
एक यज्ञ
eating
रूप में वर्णन किया गया है। भगवान भी कहते हैं कि हम वैश्वानरो
is
भूत्वा
all
प्राणिनां
yajna.
देहमास्ते पचामि प्राणापान समायुक्त पचामि अन्नम चतुर्विधम। तो वो वैश्वानर अग्नि है, तो उसमें भी आहुति
So
डाल के
Bhagavan says that he is the
तो
Vaishnavanar
वो यज्ञ की बनी रहती है।
Agni. So we are feeding food into that. So our mentality is always that we are performing
प्रजा
yajna.
सह यज्ञ
So for
प्रजा।
that reason, here Bhagavan is telling
प्रजा का मतलब होता है जो पैदा होते हैं,
Praja means those who are born.
वास्तव में तो
So actually,
जो भी जन्म लेता है वो सब प्रजा है,
anybody who is
लेकिन
born
यहाँ पर
falls
प्रजा
within the category of Praja. But
का
here,
सीमित अर्थ है।
the word Praja has limited meaning only for human
दूसरे
beings
पशु पक्षी तो ऐसा यज्ञ
because
नहीं कर सकते,
the
वो
other
तो
species they cannot
करते हैं
perform yajna.
लेकिन ऐसा कोई विहित यज्ञ नहीं करते हैं।
Although they
और
do yajna, but they do not do anything that is
सब
prescribed.
जैसे पेड़ पौधे हैं,
Like
पृथ्वी से जल
trees, plants,
खाद
they
लेते
are
हैं,
they are taking water and nutrients from the earth,
शुद्धि
and
करते हैं,
they are giving
फल देते हैं,
fruits. They
तो
release the gas for
सभी
purifying the
करते
air.
रहते हैं।
So this happens automatically.
लेकिन मनुष्य के लिए
But
विशेष
for
विधान
a
है,
human being,
इसलिए
there
प्रजा
is
शब्द
separate
का
prescription. That is why
अर्थ
here the word Praja
मनुष्य है,
refers only to human
इसका अर्थ
beings.
सीमित है।
It has limited
शंकराचार्य जी
meaning.
और भी सीमित अर्थ करते हैं इसका, वो
Shankaracharya ji also
विशेष
gives
नहीं
more
कहते,
limited meaning.
त्रैवर्णिक है,
He says that this refers
ब्राह्मण
to the
क्षत्रिय
three
वैश्य।
Varnas, Brahman, Kshatriya, and Vaishya.
लेकिन दूसरे आचार्यगण ऐसा नहीं
But
मानते,
the other acharyas, they do not
मनुष्य मात्र के लिए है,
consider like that. They say that this is for every human being.
केवल
Because here,
अग्नि में
the
आहुति देने
meaning
के
of
लिए।
yajna is not just fire sacrifice.
दूसरा ये है कि
Another
आजकल
point
जो
is
हमारी
that nowadays,
धारणा है
the
कि हम
concept that we have
काम करेंगे और पैसा
that
कमाएंगे,
we will work
इसी
and
से
we
सब
will
कुछ
get
है,
money, and with that, everything can be achieved in life.
अर्थ पर केंद्रित है।
Everything is centered nowadays around money.
जैसे इस श्लोक में कहा कि
As
वो अस्तु इष्ट काम दुख,
as is explained in
कि
this
ये यज्ञ
verse,
जो है ये आपका
that this
काम
yajna
दुख होगा,
will
कामधेनु
be the
होगा।
Kamadhuk, the
जैसे
Kamadhenu.
कामधेनु का वर्णन शास्त्र में आता है
Like in Shastra, the
जो
Kamdhenu
आपकी इच्छा
cow
पूरी
is
करती है,
explained. She is a cow
तो ये
who
यज्ञ
can fulfill
इसको
any
लेकर
wish.
बताया गया है।
So Yajna is also
तो आज
explained
हम
like
ऐसा
that.
सोचते हैं कि
So
हमारी
nowadays we
इच्छाएं
think
केवल अर्थ से
that
पूरी
our
होती हैं,
desires will be fulfilled
इसलिए
just by
यज्ञ देवता
money.
भगवान
So Yajna, Devata,
इसका
Bhagavan, they
हस्तक्षेप
do not have any role to play
ऐसी आज की
in that.
आधुनिक मान्यता है,
This is the modern mentality,
वास्तव में ऐसा है नहीं।
but this is not true actually.
क्योंकि ये आधुनिक मान्यता वाले इसको नहीं मानते हैं तो उसका
And because those of modern mentality do not accept this, then we can see the whole world is suffering because of this.
ग्लोबल वार्मिंग,
Nowadays, there is so much talk of global warming, climate change,
पोल्यूशन हो गया,
pollution,
जल का इतना दोहन किया जा रहा है,
and so much
जिससे
water is being extracted from the
सबसे बड़ी
earth.
समस्या खड़ी होगी है।
So one day this will be a big problem, especially in India,
जनसंख्या है,
because population is so
लाएंगे तो
there's such a big population in this country, and you keep extracting water out of the earth, so it is limited, available only in limited amount.
दें भी,
So yajna does not mean that we just keep taking, we should give also. So giving, if we are giving, that means there are some devatas behind this, and we offer something to them.
शास्त्रीय मान्यता है कि
So this is the verdict of Shastra,
जल के देवता वरुण,
that there are different devatas for the different elements.
अग्नि देव है, तो उनको अगर हम प्रसन्न करें
So if we please them,
हर चीज
then everything
सुचारू रूप से हमको मिल
can
जाएगी।
can be obtained
तो ये
properly.
यहाँ पर कहने का मतलब है कि ये जो कहा कि काम धुक,
So this is what we mean
का मतलब यही नहीं
by
है कि मुसलमान
kamadhuk here.
करें,
So kamadhuk does not mean that we actually perform sakam karma, because
ऐसा नहीं है कि
going ahead.
केवल अपनी भौतिक कामनाओं की पूर्ति करने के लिए,
So
लेकिन
Bhagavan has not made this system just for fulfilling material desires, but the system is designed in such a way that ultimately we attain the Paramashreyas,
उन्हीं के लिए
because yajna also means Vishnu. So we should work for Vishnu.
कार्य करना, उसी से
We should work being surrendered to him. That will lead to prosperity.
इसका कारण कार्य भाव, कॉज एंड इफेक्ट रिलेशनशिप, ये संबंध जो है वो आम आदमी की समझ में नहीं आता है कि
So
यज्ञ
superficially it is very difficult to understand the cause effect relationship with this yajna.
सृष्टि की प्रणाली को समझते हैं,
But those who understand the whole mechanism behind how this world operates, how it was created, how it functions,
में कोई समस्या नहीं आती।
they do not have any problem in understanding this.
वैज्ञानिक
But when
देखते हैं कि
we analyze from the modern scientific point of view, and we think that this is not created by Bhagwan,
हुआ
there was a major explosion,
और फिर धीरे
and then this world originated,
अनेक
and
प्रकार
then
के जीव जंतु
slowly
हुए,
different
उसमें फिर
living beings they emerged. Then there is no use of any yajna in that, and the Devi Devatas, they do not have any role in that. But this is not the reality.
वास्तविकता तो ये है कि जैसे हर
The fact is
कार्य होता है
that,
उसके पीछे कोई
like, when any activity is done, it has a doer behind it. Nothing happens automatically.
मकान बनाते हैं तो
If you have to construct a small house also, for that you have to work so hard, you have to make so much planning. So this such a big world which is working so systematically,
योजना के और बगैर व्यवस्था
then
मैनेजमेंट के नहीं चल
it is not possible that this world is functioning without any system, without any management,
करेंगे उसी
without any plan.
हम बिगाड़ेंगे।
So if we work against the principle of the functioning of this world, then we will have to suffer the reaction. Like if you are in your family, then
ना करें
if you do not do anything in the family,
और रहें तो
and you just eat, sleep, remain there, then how long can you continue in that family?
संसार जो है
That is why this world
बनाया हुआ है,
is created,
इसलिए इसको सृष्टि बोलते हैं।
and that is why it is called Srishti,
व्यवस्था है
and there is a
तो उस व्यवस्था को
system, there is an order behind it.
जीवन
So we should understand the order, the principle behind how this world functions, and then we can live happily. Otherwise, we will always have problems.
इष्ट काम
That is why here it is said, Ishta Kamadhuk, that by doing yajna, your desires will be fulfilled.
इष्ट शब्द है, इसकी दो प्रकार से व्युत्पत्ति होती है, एक यज धातु से होती है और एक इष्ट धातु से। तो अगर इशु इच्छायाम धातु से इष्ट शब्द को बनाते हैं तो उसका मतलब होगा कि आपकी कामनाओं की पूर्ति करेगा।
So then this Ishta meaning will be that it fulfills your desires. If it is from Yash Dhatu, then the yajna samagri, you will get that. the meaning can be taken in both ways.
सामग्री चाहिए
If your desires are fulfilled, then also you need the samagri, and if the yajna is done, then also you get.
इसको इष्ट काम यहाँ पर कहा गया है
That is why here it is said
कहने का
ishtakam.
मतलब ये है कि
So the point is
संसार
that
में अगर हम पैदा हुए हैं तो हमारा
if we are born in this world,
कर्तव्य है
then we have some adhikar, and we have some rights, and we have some duties also.
अधिकार
Today the biggest problem is that we are just
मेरा ये
fighting
अधिकार
for
है
our rights, to claim our rights, like
सबसे बड़ा
freedom of
अधिकार जो
speech,
है
the
मैं कुछ भी कह
biggest
सकूं
right, that I should have the right to speak
लेकिन
anything.
अधिकार तभी
But
बनता है जब हमारा कोई
adhik
कर्तव्य होता है
rights
अगर
are
कर्तव्य नहीं है
given
तो
only if you have some duties.
क्यों है आपका अधिकार
If there are no duties to be performed, why should you have any right?
मूलभूत
Like in
अधिकार
constitution we have
तो
fundamental
अगर
rights.
किसी से ये प्रश्न पूछा जाए
So if somebody is
क्यों
asked
है मूलभूत
that
अधिकार
why do you should you have fundamental rights,
और किसने दिए हैं आपको
and who has given these fundamental rights
जब
to
आपके
you?
पास ये राइट है या अधिकार है
If
किसने
you
दिया
have this right, who has given this to you?
लेकिन सब ऐसे मान लेते हैं कि हाँ मेरा ये
But
फंडामेंटल
everybody just assumes that this is my fundamental right.
क्यों है और किसने दिया है
But why do you have this right, and why it has been given to you? Because if you have a right,
किसी ने
somebody
नहीं
has
दिया
given that right
तो
to
फिर
you.
कुछ भी बना लो
If nobody has given, then you can imagine anything as your fundamental right.
जितना वो बोल
Why
सके
do you have these many fixed number of fundamental rights only?
अधिकार उसी को
So
मिलता है जो
actually,
कुछ कर्तव्य
rights are given only to that person who has
जब आप कुछ
responsibilities,
कर्तव्य करना चाहेंगे तो आपको कुछ अधिकार भी देना
who
पड़ेगा
has duties. Because when
जैसे
you
मानो आप
have to perform your duties, then you need some right also.
आश्रम
Like say you have a
तो उसके
duty to
साथ
cook
साथ एक
food,
अधिकार भी तो आएगा ना
then along with that you will get
कि
some
जो
rights
खाने को आप
also.
कहें उसके कि नहीं यहाँ मत
That if
आइए
anybody else comes in the kitchen, you should have the right to
यही
prohibit
चीज
that
यहाँ
person
पर
from entering.
तो
Or
अधिकार
you can
होना
say that
चाहिए
don't keep this here. So you will have some
जैसे
rights.
अगर हर एक आदमी रसोई में जाके कुछ भी उठा के खा ले
Otherwise, anybody and everybody will enter in the kitchen and take whatever from
सब
there.
पकाने लगे
If everybody enters the kitchen and starts cooking something,
पाचक है वो कैसे भोजन तैयार
then how
करेगा
will
सबके
the
लिए
cook actually be able to
सबको
prepare the
अधिकार
food,
दिया जाएगा
to
कि
cook
नहीं
the
आप
food?
लोगों को अंदर
So
नहीं
he
आना
should be given some rights,
ऐसा कोई नहीं
that
है
you have the rights to disallow,
तो
to
हर जगह ऐसे ही
prohibit
होता है
such and such person from entering. So everywhere you have such systems.
कर्तव्य सौंपते हैं गेट पर
If
खड़े
you give
होके
some duty to
कि
somebody,
आप यहाँ
let's
पे
say you stand in front
यहाँ
of the
बाहर
door and act
तो
as the
कुछ
security
अधिकार
guard,
भी आता है ना
then
कि जय
that
विजय
person should have some right
जय
also
विजय ने रोका है ना
to
कि आप
stop somebody. Like Jai Vijay, they
तो अगर
stopped the
जय
four
विजय ने इसलिए
Kumaras.
रोका ना
They
उसको
stopped
अधिकार
the
मिला
four Kumaras because they
तो
had a
जब वो
duty
कर्तव्य होगा तभी अधिकार मिलेगा
as a
जब
doorkeeper.
आप
So
अधिकार
when you
करेंगे
have
तो
duty, only then
अधिकार
you get
मिलने
the
वाला
rights.
है
But if you just talk about rights
तो
but do not perform your
समाज में
duty,
अव्यवस्था हो जाएगी
then there will be chaotic situation.
तो हम समाज में रहते
So
हैं
we live in the
और
society
हम कहते हैं कि
and
हमारे
we
अधिकार
say
हैं
that we
हम
have such
सांस लेते हैं
rights, like we breathe,
हम जल पीते हैं
we drink
हम
water,
भोजन खाते
we
हैं
eat food.
कहते हैं ना हमारा
We
अधिकार है
say that this is our
हमारा
right, we have
अधिकार
the
है
right to
भोजन का
live,
अधिकार है
we have the right
तो उसके साथ में
of
कुछ कर्तव्य भी
speech.
होना चाहिए
So
ना
along with that, you should have responsibilities also.
ना बोलना
That when you have the right to speak, it is your duty to not speak in such a way that gives stress to other person.
दूसरे को अव्यवस्था खड़ी
It
हो
disturbs the other person. You should not speak like that.
तो हम सृष्टि से इन सब चीजों को लेते हैं
So when we are taking all the
जैसे
elements from this world and we consider that as
उसके
our
साथ में
right,
कुछ कर्तव्य
then
भी होते
along
हैं
with that we will have some duties also.
तो उसकी शिक्षा आजकल नहीं दी
So
जाती
that is not taught anywhere today.
तो इसलिए गीता जो है
That is
वो
why
प्रायोगिक
Gita is a very practical. Gita is
ये
teaching something
वास्तव
very
में जो है
practical.
वो पुराने
If you
जमाने
just
की
read,
बात
you
नहीं
will
है
feel that this is all old-fashioned stuff doing yagyas and all.
प्रयोगिक
No,
चीज है आज
this
के
is
समय
very
में
practical
क्योंकि
teaching in today's environment,
कर्तव्य की बात कर रहा
because
है
this is talking about your
कि आप
duty,
समाज में रहते
that
हैं
you are living in this society
और आप सब सुविधाएं
and you
लेते
are
हैं
taking all the facilities from the
सड़क
society.
पर चलते
You are
हैं
walking on the road.
म्यूनिसिपैलिटी है
The municipality is there.
अथॉरिटी
It
है
has garbage collection
सड़कों को
system,
ठीक रखती है
road maintenance
ड्रेनेज
system,
सिस्टम है
drainage maintenance
तो फिर
system.
आपका भी तो कुछ
Then
कर्तव्य
you
है
also have some duty,
कि आपके लिए सुविधाएं मिल रही है
because you are getting these facilities.
तो आपको भी कुछ
Then
करना
you
चाहिए
also should have to
जब
pay
पैसा
some
वाले की बात
tax.
आए तब
But
आप
when
नहीं
it
करेंगे
comes to payment of tax, then people
तो
hesitate.
इसलिए फिर वो कहाँ से
So
आपको
then
सुविधा
how will you get the facility?
जो बीच में लोग हैं जिनका
Otherwise, those people who are in the middle,
बैठ जाएंगे,
those who have the responsibility to provide this facility, if they themselves become corrupt,
कर्तव्य मिला है वो कर्तव्य का
so they have got some duty to perform, but they are not doing that. Rather, they just keep claiming their rights. Like if you have a clerk in a bank and there and he takes the money of the bank in his pocket and goes to home.
चलेगा या 2 दिन
So one day, 2 days, he will, second day he will be caught.
पकड़ा जाएगा उस। लेकिन समाज में इस तरह का ही चलता है कि जिन लोगों को कर्तव्य कर्म
But
मिला
in
है
society, it happens that those who have got the responsibilities, the duties, whom nowadays we call ministers,
देता है कि हमारे लिए कुछ सेवा करेंगे,
they get votes from the public in expectation of performance of service. But instead of performing service, if the servant himself becomes the served,
होगी कि नहीं होगी?
then there will be problem.
तो कहते तो हम अपने आप को सेवक हैं,
So we say that we are servant,
बने हुए हैं
but we have become the savior, served.
व्यवहारिक रूप में
When it comes to practical dealings, we act as served, although we say that we are the servant of the society, we are the servant of the public.
यहाँ पर ये कहा गया है। तो इस प्रकार की इस
So
प्रकार का
this
संस्कार
mentality
हमारे
should be
आरंभ से ही
the mentality of yajna should be there from the beginning in our life, that this life has been given
कहा कि
to perform yajna.
मनुष्य है,
As I said that here praja means human being.
के लिए मिला
So human life
नहीं तो क्या
is meant for this only. Otherwise there will be bondage of karma,
यज्ञ अर्थात
like he told earlier.
लोको अयम कर्म बंधन, कि यज्ञ के अलावा आप जो भी कार्य करेंगे
That other than yajna, anything that you perform
बंधन का कारण होगा।
will become a cause of bondage.
अगर कोई निषिद्ध
That is why if you perform a forbidden act,
उसको भी यज्ञ रूप में कीजिए।
that also should be done as a yajna.
पता ना हो हमारे यहाँ चौर
You may not know, we had a chaur shastra also.
चोरी करते हैं,
People who steal,
उनके लिए भी शास्त्र था।
for them also there was a shastra. Even for theft,
इसको कुछ नियमित रूप से
means even theft,
तो उससे उनका भी सुधार होगा।
if it is done, it should be done in a prescribed way so that they get reformed.
उनका भी धर्म था, चोरों का भी धर्म था।
Even the thieves had a dharma.
आजकल इसको समझते नहीं हो, कहते हैं कि यहाँ तो मांस
Nowadays, people don't understand. They say that in Shastra there is talk of eating meat, animal sacrifice. But the point is, it was not for everybody.
इस प्रकार के लोग भी हो,
Because in society, you have such people also who have this swabhava. So how will you reform them?
तो उनको सुधारने के लिए
So in order to reform them,
प्रकल्प उनको दिया गया था।
this system was created for them. The idea was not that you encourage them to perform theft or sacrifice animals or eat meat, but the system was created so with the objective of reforming them. Like Vyasa says
जो मूढ़ लोग हैं कर्म से उनका
that those who are fools, how they can achieve shreya by karma, for them I create this system.
भी अधिकार की बात है। वो जो पशु
So there also it is talk of adhikar
सबका
regarding animal sacrifice. Everybody is not entitled to that.
मांस खाना नहीं,
And the objective of that animal sacrifice is not just to kill them and eat their meat. The objective is that those who have this inclination,
कैसे हटा
how to remove that inclination from them slowly
यज्ञ के माध्यम से
by performance of yajna.
करने की
So one is that they will also get accustomed to perform dharma,
खान पान करने
and whatever they are eating, it will become regulated.
बार खाओ।
Not that you eat meat 3 times a day.
बहुत मांसाहारी लोग हैं,
Like nowadays, many non-vegetarians, they eat meat three times in a day. So the idea earlier was to discipline them, to regulate them,
सुधारा जाए।
and slowly reform their swabhava.
शास्त्र ने दी है
So for that, Shastra has given a methodology, a system.
प्रजा,
So that is why here it is said Sahajagya Praja. Here Praja means any human being. So this is for everyone. It is not just for Hindus, because everyone is Praja.
कोई प्रजा है क्योंकि
Those who are not Hindus, they are also Praja.
प्रजाकरण किया है।
Praja means anybody who has taken birth. So this is for everybody.
ऐसा करने से ही
And if you act like this, only then there will be prosperity in the society.
तो क्या होगा,
Otherwise, what will happen?
रिद्धि होगी, यानी कि
there will be Vairiddhi,
दिवाला निकल जाएगा समाज,
means everyone will become bankrupt. Like nowadays,
समस्या रहती है,
we see financial problems everywhere.
चले जाओ हर जगह
You
आप
go to any country,
समस्या की बात
there
सुनोगे।
is you will hear talks of
दूसरा जो
economic
है इसका
problems,
इस श्लोक का,
financial deficits.
वो इससे
Another
थोड़ा और गहरा है
perspective of this verse is
कि
even
वो
at a
है
deeper level, and that
कि
is
किस प्रकार से
that
एक
how
व्यक्ति जिसने जन्म
every
लिया है
person who has taken birth,
उसको जो परम श्रेय है उसकी तरफ प्रवृत्त कराया जाए।
how to encourage that person to move towards Paramashreya, the ultimate benefit,
इसका
because
उद्देश्य यही
human
है
form of life is not just
कि
meant for eating,
आहार
drinking.
मैथुनम च समानम एतत् पशुभिः नराणाम्। तो केवल आहार निद्रा भय मैथुन इसके
Only
लिए तो पशु
eating, sleeping, mating, defending,
तो
this is
मनुष्य का
done
जो
by
जन्म है
animals also. But human life
इसलिए
is above
जिसको
this.
मोक्ष कहें
That is meant to achieve the ultimate benefit, whether you call it moksha or bhakti.
तो जैसा
A human life is meant for
शास्त्रों में
this. So,
संदर्भ
like
है
Sri
विशेष
Jiva
रूप से
Goswami ji explains in Sandarbhas,
मनुष्य का जो
that
बंधन है उसका मुख्य कारण है
the
भगवत वैमुख्यता।
the primary cause of bondage
यानी
of
कि
human being
भगवान
is
से परायण
Bhagavad
होना,
Vaimukhyata,
भगवान को भूल जाना,
that is to turn one's attention away from Bhagavan, not
यही समस्या
recognizing
का
Bhagavan.
मूल है।
This is the root cause of
इसलिए
bondage.
उस समस्या का समाधान है सामुख्यता,
So the solution for the Vaimukhyata is
कि
Samukhyata,
अपना
that
मन
is to turn one's attention towards Bhagavan. How to
इसके लिए
turn
ये
the
आरंभिक
consciousness towards
आरंभिक नियम
Bhagavan.
है।
So for that, this is the primary
जैसा
step,
यज्ञ
what
में
is being
विहित
told
है।
in this verse.
तो प्रजापति ने
So the
इस
Prajapati,
संसार की व्यवस्था
Brahma,
दी है
he has given this
ताकि
system
मनुष्य मात्र
so that every human being,
विमुक्ता को छोड़कर
he
सामुख्यता की
gives
प्राप्ति
up
करे।
the Vaimukhyata
समाज में
and achieves
संसार में
Samukhyata,
कोई भी
means
कमी
he turns his consciousness towards Bhagavan.
होती है जब हम भगवान को भूल
So
जाते हैं।
there is no scarcity actually. Scarcity happens only
जैसे पशु
when
पक्षी
we
हैं,
are in
अगर
we do
मनुष्य
not recognize Bhagavan.
उनमें हस्तक्षेप ना करे तो वो शांति से
Like
रहते
if
हैं।
you see the other species, if human beings do not disturb them, they
लेकिन
live
जब हम
peacefully.
हस्तक्षेप करते हैं
But when we
तो वो
start
भी समस्या
disturbing
पैदा
them, then we create trouble for us, but we create trouble for them
अनेक प्रकार
also.
की जो योनियां हैं
So
स्पीसीज हैं
many
वो समाप्त
species
हो
which
गई
are
हैं।
there, they have become extinct because of the greed of human
तो
beings.
इसलिए ये यज्ञ की प्रक्रिया
That
बनाई
is
गई कि
why
मनुष्य
this
मात्र
system of yajna has been made, so that human beings, they can become Bhagavad
सामुख्यता में रहे
Samukhya, they can turn their attention
ताकि
towards
संसार की
Bhagavan.
कोई कमी नहीं रहे।
And when attention is towards Bhagavan, then there will be no scarcity in life,
दे सकते हैं।
because Bhagavan can give
इसलिए
everything.
ही यहाँ पर कहा कि अनेन
That is
प्रशस्ति
why
ऊर्ध्वम
here it is said
कि आप इससे समृद्ध होइए,
that you
इस यज्ञ की समृद्धि
become prosperous by this, or you will achieve prosperity by
ताकि
performance of
यज्ञ
yajna.
पुरुष प्रसन्न
Because
हो
when we perform yajna and
और
yajna
आपकी
purush
इच्छा पूरी
becomes
करे।
pleased, then the yajna purush will
इसलिए
fulfill all your desires.
परोपकार की भावना
That is why this desire for welfare of others,
जो
this is
भावना
the primary objective
यानी
of
एक
yajna,
आदत डालना दैनिक
means to inculcate a habit of giving charity to others
आपस में सहयोग से रहना।
and living with cooperation.
तो जब आप कुछ परोपकार करते हैं किसी
So when
दूसरे
you
की
do any
मदद
welfare
करते
to
हैं
somebody else,
तो देखने में तो यही आता है कि आप
then
कुछ कर रहे हैं, दूसरे का
superficially
भला
it
हो रहा है।
appears that you are doing something and the other person is just getting
ऐसा
benefited.
होता है
But actually, the doer is getting
कि जैसे कि
benefited much more
भूखा
than the
प्यासा
person
बहुत
to whom
देखता है,
charity is being given. Like if somebody is
ऐसा
hungry
लगता
and
है
you are
कि
feeding him,
आपको क्या
then
मिल
that
रहा है,
person is getting fed.
आपको मिल रहा
But
है
what are
अच्छे
you
संस्कार
getting? You are getting good
और
samskaras.
अच्छे संस्कार का महत्व
And
किसी
uh,
दूसरे के भोजन से बहुत ज्यादा है।
good samskaras, they are far more
इसलिए
important
दूसरे
than just being fed one
को
time.
निष्काम भाव से
So
परोपकार करने
when
में
we
किसी इच्छा से
benefit
करने में उससे
someone
कुछ फायदा
with
मिल रहा है,
nishkam bhav,
उससे तो फिर आपका
without
संस्कार
any
पड़ेगा,
selfish desire,
व्यवसायिक संस्कार पड़ेगा।
if you help
आप
somebody
किसी का उपकार
with
करते
selfish
हैं
desire, then you will get the sakama samskar.
तो आपके
But if
हृदय में
you
अच्छे
help
संस्कार पड़ते हैं,
without any selfish desire, then you get good samskaras.
वो वास्तविक फल है।
And that is the real benefit, the real fruit.
आपकी कोई प्रशंसा करे, जैसा
If
लोगों की इच्छा
somebody
होती है कि
praises
प्रशंसा
you,
करें, वो वास्तविक
like
फल नहीं उस प्रशंसा
people have the desire for recognition that I did something good for somebody, but that is not actually a good samskara. So the real benefit of seva is that you get good samskaras, and that is what purifies your heart.
इसलिए सेवा का महत्व बताया।
That is why seva is glorified.
संस्कार जो है ये स्थायी
So this samskara, this is the permanent benefit.
प्रशंसा कर दी, आपका नाम कहीं पर आ गया,
And the other benefits like you get some praise, recognition, those are all temporary, though they don't give much value.
श्लोक में भगवान
That is why in this
के
verse,
बारे में
Bhagavan
बताते हैं कि
is explaining about yajna, what is its
आगे
importance.
वाले श्लोक में
And then in the next verse, he
देवा
speaks more.
तानेन ते देवा भावयन्तु वह परस्परम भावयन्त श्रेयः परम अवाप्स्यत। तो आगे कहते हैं
Translation, Brahma continues, nourish the devas through this yajna, and by so doing, may the devas be gracious to you. Thus, through mutual benevolence, you shall attain the highest welfare.
तो यहाँ वही परस्पर सहयोग की बात भगवान कह रहे हैं।
So here also Bhagavan is talking about mutual
एक दूसरे का सहयोग,
cooperation, helping one each other,
उनका पोषण होता है यज्ञ से।
cooperating, because the devatas, they get nourished
ये
by this.
कर वाला जो आय
It is something like we discussed about taxation.
टैक्स देते हैं
Like you give tax to the government,
करती है, उससे
and the government does beneficial acts for you. If they have money in the treasury,
लाभ आपको ही मिलेगा उससे।
then you will get benefited by that.
देवान भाव्यता, भाव्यता माने कि ये आप
Bhavayanta means that you do this,
कीजिए,
you please them.
यानी कि भावे भू धातु से बना है, भाव्यता
The bhavaya is from bhu dhatu.
उनकी सत्ता जो है
It means that their existence
निर्भर है।
depends on you.
आप अगर यज्ञ नहीं करेंगे तो भी
If you do not perform yajna, then also they will continue to function, but they will do that in an ordinary, a general way. But if you fulfill your duty,
आपकी सहायता,
then they will specifically help you.
तो इसके लिए वो यहाँ पर आदेश देते हैं,
So for that, Bhagavan
आप
gives the instruction here
कर्तव्य कर्म कीजिए।
that you should continue performing your duty.
स्मृति शास्त्र कहते हैं कि हर
Like Smriti Shastra says
के ऊपर 5
that
प्रकार के ऋण होते हैं।
every person is indebted in 5 ways.
भूत ऋण, निर ऋण, पितृ ऋण। क्योंकि हमारा जीवन जो है वो केवल
Because our life
हमारे कारण ही नहीं चलता है,
does not function just for us, just by us. It also functions by cooperation from others.
व्यक्ति ऐसे हैं
And there are some people who cooperate,
हमें दिखाई नहीं देते,
but we cannot see them.
तो वो देवता लोग इसी प्रकार के हैं। पितृ
So
लोग
devatas also fall in this category. The pitris, the forefathers, they also fall in this category. Other than that, people in society, they help us, the birds and animals,
मानव
or the human society, that can be seen,
की सहायता हमको करनी भी पड़ती है,
and we have to help them also.
नहीं मिलेगी,
Otherwise, we will also not get help from them.
पहले हो चुके हैं।
But other than that, the rishis who have been there earlier, and today we are benefiting from their knowledge, the devatas, the pitris or forefathers,
हमारी सहायता करते हैं,
they also help us.
स्वास्थ्य के
So the forefathers,
व्यवस्थापक हैं, और
they regulate our health, and the devatas, they regulate the functioning of this universe.
प्रकार से है कि जैसे समाज में हॉस्पिटल होता है,
So it is like we have hospital in the society.
डॉक्टर्स हैं,
So we have doctors there.
हॉस्पिटल होते हैं वहाँ फ्री,
Like there are government hospitals, you get free medicines.
लेकिन वो तभी देगी ना सरकार जब उनको भी
So that is possible only
रहेगा समाज से, तभी
if government gets taxes from the society. Otherwise, how will the government function? Otherwise, what will happen? They will construct the facility, but they do not have money, so they cannot provide free medicines. Or even if they provide, it will not be in the proper way.
प्रकार से देवता है,
So similarly, there are devatas, the forefathers, the rishis. We are indebted to them.
उनको
So this yajna
ऋण उतारने के लिए किया
is also done to make ourselves free from those debts. That is why it is said in Shastra every person should do the 5 yagyas, the Pancha yagya.
हवन यानी कि अग्नि
So that is not just fire sacrifice.
के लिए शास्त्र का अध्ययन करें
For
तो उससे
because we are indebted to rishis, we study Shastra, then they become pleased, and we will definitely be also benefited from that.
होता है उसका तो हमको पता नहीं चलता है कि भाई
So when we do yagya,
हमको क्या लाभ
you do not understand that how I did yagya fire sacrifice now when I will get benefit, or if at all I will get benefit, we do not know. But if we study Shastras because we are indebted to the rishis, then at this much we know minimum that we will be benefited by studying Shastra, because we will get good knowledge. Like if there is Bhagavad Gita, if we study that, Vyasa has written, so Vyasa will be pleased to see that we are studying Bhagavad Gita, and we will be benefited by studying Gita. So this is something we are understanding directly.
उसका हमें लाभ मिलेगा
But when we do fire sacrifice, when or whether we will get benefit or no, we cannot ascertain that.
अगर हम परोपकार करते
So similarly, when we do service in the society, when we do social service, we can see the result.
इसी प्रकार भूत यज्ञ का भी आप देख सकते हैं
Similarly, the Bhuta Yagya, we can see that also.
अतिदेश कर सकते हैं यानी कि जब इनको करने से हमको लाभ
So then you can do Atidesha, then by doing acts, by doing yagyas where we see direct benefit, we can infer that the fire sacrifice can also be done.
नियम यहाँ
So this is a very important rule that is being explained here.
कि हम अगर एक दूसरे की सेवा करें एक दूसरे
That if we serve each other, if we cooperate with each other, if we help each other, then we can achieve the highest benefit.
तो यहाँ वास्तव में जब आप इस श्लोक को देखते हैं
So actually, if you see this verse,
इससे पता चलता
Shreya Param,
पहले श्लोक
from this we can understand that what was spoken in the previous verse,
वस्तु इष्ट काम दुख कि आपकी
it was said Ishta Kamadhuk, that this yagya will fulfill all your desires. And here it is said Paramashreya.
इच्छाओं की बात
So it is not just talking about material desires,
है
because Paramashreya is moksha, or achieving Bhagavan,
यही होता है
attaining Bhagavan.
इष्ट काम दुख का सीधा अर्थ होता है
And Ishta Kamadhuk directly means that your desires will be fulfilled.
पूरी
So mostly the meaning that comes out is that your desires will be fulfilled, means your material desires will be fulfilled.
नहीं है वास्तव
But here the meaning is not actually of material desires, because in this verse it is said Paramashreya.
से ये पता चलता है कि जो
So from this we understand that in the previous verse when Ishtakamadhuk word was used, the meaning was that your material desires will be fulfilled and you will achieve spiritual benefit also, both.
जैसे कि वैशेषिक सूत्र में धर्म
Like in Vaisheshika Sutra, the explanation of dharma which is given,
सा धर्म कि जिससे भौतिक
that by which you will get material prosperity and
प्रयोजन की प्राप्ति हो वो
spiritual benefit also.
और धर्म जो है
That is dharma.
पूर्व
And
के अनुसार तो
in according to Purva Mimamsa, dharma means yagya only.
धर्म जिज्ञासा जो पहला सूत्र है
The first sutra in Purva Mimamsa of Jaimini ji, if you see, the whole description is of yagya only.
ये पर्यायवाची शब्द है एक
So dharma is a synonym for yagya.
इनको करने से अगर हम अपना
So it means that if we perform
करते हैं
our duties as a seva to Bhagavan, offering to Bhagavan, then we will achieve our material desires as well as we will also achieve our spiritual purpose. We will attain the spiritual goal.
श्लोक और पिछले श्लोक दोनों को अगर हम मिलाकर उनका अर्थ करें तो ये अर्थ
So this is the meaning that is direct, that comes out if we analyze both verses together.
नहीं तो ऐसा समझ
Earlier it was said Ishtakam and here it is said Paramashreya. Otherwise one may say that yagya is just meant for fulfilling material desires.
प्रवचन में मैंने कहा
So as I had explained in the previous class,
नित्य कर्म नैमित्तिक
that karma is nitya, naimittika and nishiddha, these three types.
जो है वो उनको
So nitya karma refers to those karma which if done do not give any benefit, but if not done they lead to defect.
लेकिन वास्तव में ऐसा नहीं है
This is according to Purva Mimamsa. But actually it is not that if they are done there is no benefit. Benefit is there, but not exactly as per how we get benefit in Sakama Karma. So if you do Nitya Karma, then according to Purvamimamsa, you do achieve Swarga. But here, when those karmas are offered to Bhagavan, then you get the Paramashreya. Further ahead, Bhagavan says that if karma, by performing karma, Janaka, etc., they achieve the ultimate benefit. And in the 18th chapter, it is explained that by this you can achieve moksha, you can attain Bhagavan also, if karma is performed in that way. So that is why here it is said that by mutual cooperation you can achieve the Paramashreya, the ultimate benefit. So the point is that we should perform our responsibilities, our duties.
हमें मोक्ष या भगवत प्राप्ति जो भी दोनों में से जो भी
And by doing that, we can achieve either moksha or attain Bhagavan according to whatever is our goal. The other point is that
कर्मेंद्रियां और ज्ञानेंद्रियां
our senses, the action performing senses and the knowledge acquiring senses, they have their devatas.
तो जैसे हम जब कार्य करते हैं
So just like when we perform any action,
तो दोनों के सहयोग से होता है
it happens by cooperation of both, because the karmendriyas, the senses, the action performing senses, they cannot function without the knowledge acquiring senses. Because if there is no knowledge, how will the other senses perform action? And if the knowledge acquiring senses, they just acquire knowledge, like if you have hunger and you can see food in front of you, so you get the knowledge that food is kept there. But in order to get that food, you have to use your hands and legs. So by cooperation with the action performing senses, you will get the food and then you can live. So just like both life continues by the cooperation of both types of senses, similarly by the cooperation of human beings and devatas, this world continues. So in Sankhya, there is a nyaya called Andhapangu Nyaya. So it says that the Prakriti is blind and Atma is lame. It doesn't have legs. Because Atma alone cannot do anything. All the action is done by Prakriti only.
आत्मा तो केवल शरीर में बैठा हुआ है
Atma is just sitting inside the body.
आत्मा की स्थिति से ही ज्ञान होता है
But
चेतनता तो आत्मा में ही है
if there is Atma, then only we get knowledge, because consciousness is in Atma only.
जैसे समझिए कि
So they make a nyaya that you consider as if
चक्षु वाला है उसके आंख हैं
Atma, as if Atma has eyes but doesn't have legs, and the Prakriti, the material nature, has legs but doesn't have eyes, and both are in the forest. So from there, how do they come out? So for coming out, the process is this only, that the Atma sits on the Prakriti and gives guidance that now go here, go there, and then both can together by cooperation come out of that dense forest. So similarly, our knowledge acquiring senses, they have eyes but they do not have legs, and the action performing senses, they have their legs but not the eyes. So by their cooperation, life continues. If you have only one, then you cannot function. Similarly, in this world, these devatas, they are called Adhik Devik, and our body is Adi Bhautik. So by their cooperation, life can continue, that they give us guidance and then we perform action. Doing yajna means we perform our karma. Yajna and karma, dharma, all same only.
आवश्यकताओं की पूर्ति
and
करने
then the devatas, they fulfill our
इसलिए
needs.
कहते हैं कि परम श्रेय
So
आपको प्राप्त होगा
so Bhagavan is telling here that with that you will achieve the ultimate prosperity.
देवताओं के लिए नहीं है
So this Paramashray ultimate benefit is for human beings, not for the devatas. If you are doing yajna
बताया गया है
the way it is explained here,
तो वो
then
आपको परम श्रेय देता है
it
देवताओं को
will
नहीं देता
give you ultimate benefit to you, not to the devatas.
बड़ी विचित्र बात है
This is also something very
देवताओं
peculiar,
के लिए यज्ञ किया जाता है
that the
उनका
devatas
श्रेय
for
नहीं
whom
मिलने वाला
yajna is done,
उनका तो
they
पोषण
do not
पालन
get any shreya. They will just get nourished,
उनका जो अपना उत्तरदायित्व है वो उनको निभाना पड़ेगा
and they will have to fulfill their own responsibilities.
मोक्ष नहीं हो जाएगा
But they will not achieve any moksha if
लेकिन
you are doing
आपको
yajna.
मोक्ष हो जाएगा
But if you do yajna, you can achieve moksha.
मनुष्य योनि में जन्म
That is
लेना
why the
चाहते
devatas also want to take birth
कार्य शोभन
in the human form.
प्रसन्न एषामुत स्वयमेव हरि यैर् जन्म लब्धम भारताजिरे मुकुंद सेवो अपैकम स्पृहाहीना देवता लोग भी कहते हैं मनुष्य को देख
Devatas also tell, seeing the human beings, they wonder that what pious actions they have done that they achieved this human form of life.
हैं इसलिए
Bhagavan is pleased with them. That is why they have achieved this human form of life.
मुकुंद सेवा
Because in this life,
कर सकते
you can do seva to Mukunda.
शरीर है भगवान की सेवा
Because this human form of life is the best form for doing seva to Bhagavan.
में हमारी भी इच्छा है ऐसी
So the devatas
प्राप्त करना
also desire to obtain this body.
तो इसलिए जो
So that
परम
is
श्रेय
why
है
the ultimate benefit,
आपको
for that here it is said that you will get it. It doesn't say that this verse doesn't say that the devatas will get the Paramashriya, the ultimate benefit. But if we do not perform yajna,
ये हमारा दुर्भाग्य है
then it will be our misfortune.
कहा जा सकता
What else can be said?
है कि ऐसा सुअवसर हमको प्राप्त हुआ है
That we achieved such a nice opportunity.
हमें भगवान ने गीता भी दी है
Bhagavan has given us
अवसर को समझ सके क्योंकि आपको
Gita
अवसर
also,
प्राप्त
so that we can understand this.
आपको अवसर प्राप्त
Because if you have opportunity but you do not understand that you have opportunity, you cannot derive benefit from that.
है कि हमको सबसे पहले
So
तो ये
it is our great fortune that first of all we got the human form of life. So we have the opportunity to get the ultimate benefit.
काम ऐसे
And the other thing is that we are also fortunate that we have got the knowledge
अगर हम
that we have this opportunity, the possibility to gain the ultimate benefit. So in despite having both, if we do not derive the benefit, then it is our greatest misfortune. What else can be said?
अगर
Then later Bhagavan will say
नहीं करता
that if one does not act like this, then what will be his condition, his situation?
यज्ञ के बारे में आगे बोलेंगे चौथे पांचवें अध्याय में भी बोलेंगे
And later in the 4th and 5th chapters also he will explain about yajna, and he will also explain that I am the ultimate bhokta and the prabhu of all the yajnas.
भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च तो अंतिम उद्देश्य है
So the ultimate objective of
संतुष्ट करना है
yajna is to satisfy Bhagavan, not just the devatas.
वास्तव में संतुष्ट हो जाए तो सब
And if Bhagavan is actually satisfied, then all the yajna is successful. So we will stop here, and if you have any question you can ask.
बोलिए
पहले तो जो पहले आपने जो बात कर रही थी फंडामेंटल राइट्स और ड्यूटीज है
ये दूसरा ले लो
तो जिसको ड्यूटी
Question:
दी जाती है उसी को तो
one who is given duty, only he gets rights, like you spoke about Jai Vijay.
दिया ड्यूटी करने के लिए दिया जाता है
So rights are given for performance of duties only. Otherwise, why will somebody give you rights?
आश्रम है
Like I have this ashram. So just somebody comes from outside and starts claiming rights that I will live in this room. I have rights to live in this room. I will take food here. This is my fundamental right.
वैसे थोड़े होता है
So it doesn't happen like this. So if you stay here, if I give you a room, then you also have some duties, responsibilities that you attend class or study or some seva. But just like that, without any reason, somebody comes and claims rights. That cannot be given. Rights are always given for fulfilling responsibilities. So now if I talk of Bhakti Marg,
साध्य की तरफ
so by sadhana we achieve the
कहते हैं एक
sadhya.
बात हो जाती है कि हालांकि वो तो दूसरा आप इसको स्पष्ट कर देंगे कि साधन साध्य नहीं कृपा साध्य है
हाँ हाँ, लेकिन कृपा तो तभी मिलेगी जब तुम आप कुछ
So
करोगे।
if you will get kripa only if you do something. Kripa is just not given like that, free of
लोग ऐसे
cost.
सोचते हैं कि कृपा साध्य का मतलब हो गया कि
People
हम
think
कुछ
that
नहीं
kripa
करेंगे,
siddha means that we don't have to do
तो
anything.
भगवान क्यों कृपा करेगा?
So why will Bhagavan give kripa to such lazy fellows?
कोई भी बुद्धिमान व्यक्ति,
Any intelligent person, why will he do that?
मानो जैसे आप हैं
Like
और कोई
you
बहुत
consider,
धनी
let's say
व्यक्ति
yourself and some very
आपके
poor
पास आता है कुछ
person,
सहायता
and
करने
he
के लिए,
comes to you and you
तो
help
आपको
that
जैसे पता
person.
चले कि ये केवल मांगता ही रहता है, स्वयं कुछ
But
नहीं
when you
करता, तो इसको
understand,
करने
you
दो,
realize that this
भागो
person
यहाँ से,
is capable of working but always asks for
तो
money.
नहीं जाओगे?
Then will you
तो
not
आपको
send him
जब आप
away,
कुछ प्रयास
saying that
करते
you are
हैं
always
उसके
coming and
बाद
asking for money but you don't do anything?
उसकी सफलता मिलती है तो आपको भी प्रसन्नता होगी, लेकिन केवल
But
वो
if he
सहायता
also does
करता है
something, then you
स्वयं
will
कुछ
be
कार्य
happy
नहीं करता,
that by your help he could do something.
तो आपको उससे फिर प्रसन्नता
But
नहीं
if he
होगी।
doesn't do anything, you will become frustrated that he always asks for money but doesn't do any seva.
यज्ञ की सामग्री क्या है? यज्ञ की
Next
सामग्री क्या है?
question, what is the samagri of
सामग्री
yajna?
मैंने सुना कि इष्ट शब्द का
I
अर्थ
have
दो
heard
प्रकार
that
का, दो
ishta
प्रकार क्या है?
has two
जो भी
meanings.
आप यज्ञ करते हैं, जैसे
So
अग्निहोत्र
answer, like when you do yagnihotra
या चातुर्मास्य यज्ञ कर रहे
or
हैं,
you are doing chaturmas yagya,
अगर उसमें
somayag.
यज्ञ कर रहे हैं, आगे यज्ञों की बहुत
Later
व्याख्या करेंगे,
coming up, Bhagavan will give lot of
तो उसमें
explanation for
आवश्यक है, अगर
yagyas.
आप ज्ञान यज्ञ
So
कर रहे
whatever
हैं
is needed for that, like if you are doing Gyan Yagya, you will have books, you will have teachers.
आप अगर अन्नदान करने का यज्ञ कर रहे हैं तो
If you
उसके
are
लिए
doing the
आपको
Yagya
सामग्री
of giving food as charity, then that food, that will be the samagri.
In the countries where there is a dictatorship, dictatorship countries, they talk a lot about duties, about obeisances, about all many things, taking authority in Quran, in Bible, or even in Bhagavad Gita. But still, it is for their power, for dictator power. So how to refute them?
refute them.
Yes,
How will you refute them if they are dictator?
but
Then they will cut your head.
yes, I mean to refute this logic, because when I am in
Which logic?
a democratic country, for example, and we talk about these things, we can hear, okay, do you want a dictatorship here? Do you prefer democratic or the dictatorship? So it looks like actually nowadays there are only two ways for society organization. Either it is democratic with all drawbacks, or it is dictatorship.
Yeah, but what's your question? I'm not clear.
Question is what to say to people who are not, who see in who see only dictatorship features in statement like duties of the people should be done.
So what is dictatorship in this? I mean, suppose you are a father and you have children. So if I say that you should take care of your children, is this dictatorship? Because as a father, it's your duty. or as a mother, it's your duty to do that. So what is dictatorship in this?
But, for example, the fact that the power is elected, the power of the country is elected by votes,
Yeah.
and we can hear that this doesn't work, that there is corruption and so on. So
why is the corruption? Because they are not doing their duty, isn't it?
yes.
So that's what he's saying. So why corruption comes? Whether it is dictatorship, you see, dictatorship also is frowned by people because the dictator is not doing his duty. If the dictator does his duty, there is nothing wrong with it. The problem comes when people do not do their duty. Dictator is not there just to exploit people. Dictator means that he controls and he does welfare to them. Originally it is meant like that. And if you talk or hear the speech of a dictator, he will also speak like this, that I want to serve the country for the benefit of the country, for this, for that. But when they only speak and not do it, that is where the problem comes. Same whether it is democracy or dictatorship. The problem comes only when they do not do their duty. So previously in India there were kings. So king is also like the dictator. But now the word dictator has become negative. But if the king does his duty, which is Ranjanath Raja, Praja Ranjanath Raja, the very word Raja has the meaning that the one who pleases the people, that is king. Means he is like a father. That's why he was treated like God. Just like God takes care of everybody, Krishna also says that among human beings I am the king. But
प्रजापति वही शब्द आया है.
no, king also says. So he has responsibility. So it's the same thing that they're saying we have the adhikar, right. As a dictator I have a right, but I forget the duty part. But the right is there only because of the duty. So when you only flaunt your right and not do the duty, that's what is corruption.
Nowadays, is it possible to have this social organization with dictator who follows
Possible
his
if
duties?
everything is possible if human being wants to do it. The one who is not following the duty has become possible because he is not following. It can also be possible if he follows. So I will speak in Hindi for others, those who are not. तो उनका प्रश्न ये है कि
So the
आजकल
question is that
ये गणतंत्र
nowadays this democracy and dictatorship, we have two models of governance.
तानाशाही वाले हैं,
Those who are dictators,
लोग कुछ कहते हैं कि वो
people, some people say that the dictatorship is wrong
गणतंत्र ठीक है.
and democracy is correct. So my point is that whether it is democracy or dictatorship,
समस्या तभी आती है
the problem happens only
राजनीतिक
when
वोट से बने
whether the person has become leader by vote or by being
कर्तव्य नहीं निभाते हैं.
authoritarianship.
तो जो
The
भारत
problem happens only when they
है
do
उसको
not
ये
perform their
अधिकार
duties.
तभी मिला है कि वो कुछ कार्य
The dictator has also got the right only
उनकी अगर आप
to perform his duties towards the society.
जनता के
But
समाज
if you hear their speeches, they say that we will function for the benefit of society.
शब्द आज
But when they do not perform their duties, that is why dictatorship has got the
थे
a very
लेकिन वो जनता
negative meaning.
थे
So in India also earlier
कि जो प्रजा का
there were
रंजन
authorities, dictatorship, but that was the kings were there. But the kings had their duty to perform welfare for the society.
तो वही फिर डिक्टेटर
And if the king does not perform welfare for the society, the king just becomes a dictator.
किसी के लिए कोई कार्य नहीं करता है,
He's just exploiting the society,
जाता है कर
just imposing taxes.
तो समस्या तभी आती है जब व्यक्ति केवल
So problem happens only when
कर्तव्य नहीं करता,
person only claims rights but does not perform duty.
आपका जीवन
So for that reason, here Bhagavan is explaining that your life
तभी आपको अधिकार
is for performing your duties, and if you perform your duties, you get the rights also.
प्रणाम बाबा जी। तो ऑन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ
हिंदी में बोलो।
सॉरी, ये कॉन्टेक्स्ट में कृपा के बारे में आपने बात
Question:
किया,
you spoke about kripa, mercy, that how will Bhagavan give kripa to a lazy person?
थोड़ा सा
भगवान तो स्वयं ही कहेंगे कि मैं हमेशा काम करता
काम
रहता
करता हूँ, मैं काम नहीं किया तो कैसे?
Bhagavan himself says that I am always active, I never take rest.
काम तो एक एक्टिविटी है, तो देन उसके पीछे इंटेंशन
So work is an activity, and we know that intention matters
छोटा है, किसी का काम
more behind the action, because somebody's work is big, somebody's small.
किसी व्यक्ति हम कह रहे हैं,
Now we are talking about this lazy person.
भी कितना
So this lazy person, although he is lazy, for his own sense enjoyment, he can go till any extent.
आ जाती है
But when it comes to seva, then he becomes lazy.
अपना सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन के लिए भी वो कितना हद तक जा रहे हैं, बिकॉज लिमिटेशन है ना एक आदमी का काम करने का। ये दोनों महत्व रखते हैं बाबा जी।
दोनों महत्व रखते हैं, मतलब
सपोज वो अपना सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन के लिए भी एक्स काम ही कर पा रहे, तो जब बिकॉज उनका
So question is, he is performing limited activity for his own sense enjoyment,
कैपेसिटी वो भगवान का सेवा में भी लगा रहे अपना फुल कैपेसिटी में, तो
and giving the full capacity in seva also.
आलसी का मतलब वो करना ही नहीं चाहता है। अगर
The answer: lazy means he does not want to do. If he is performing according to his capacity, why will you call him lazy? Lazy means he doesn't want to do activity. He wants to get result without performing action.
तो यही भ्रष्टाचार इसी को
So this is corruption.
भगवान कहते हैं कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्तु मा फलेषु कदाचन। आपका अधिकार जो है
Bhagavan says in Gita that your adhikar is in karma and not in result. And human beings say that my adhikar is in result, not in karma. I should not perform action and I should just be able to give result. Bhagavan says that you do your activity, don't worry about result. But human beings are telling exactly opposite thing.
प्रश्न है, आपने गणतंत्र और इसका डिक्टेटरशिप का बात किया।
Next question: you spoke about democracy and dictatorship. In both of them, the problem is not doing duties. If you take in today's society,
चेक्स एंड बैलेंसेस होते हैं, मतलब
like we have the
अपना काम
check and balance, there is judicial system, administrative system also.
राजाओं के लिए भी तो नियम था।
So answer: earlier there were rules and regulations, Smriti Shastras, for kings also. Not that king can do whatever he likes. Even king could be punished.
मोस्टली वो जुडिशियल की भी
But here when we talk about dictatorship, it is even above the judiciary.
वो अपना ड्यूटी तो करे, तुम ऊपर रहो।
So answer: okay, you remain above the judiciary, but you perform your duties. And what is the point of your being a dictator? What is the objective? Objective is to for your own fulfill your own selfish ambitions, or to act for the welfare of society.
का फॉलो करना नहीं है, ऑटोमेटिकली समाज का कल्याण तो होगा ही नहीं। तो अगर
शास्त्र नहीं है तो देश का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन तो है, तो उसको तो मानो। आज
So
शास्त्र
at least you have the constitution, you can follow that.
पहले शास्त्र था, तो अब संविधान को तो मानो।
सो या डिक्टेटर
Earlier there was shastra, now you have constitution, at least follow that.
तो वो अपनी ड्यूटी नहीं कर रहा है ना।
So if the dictator is not following that, then he is not doing his duty. But that is not actually the meaning of dictator.
जैसे आज के राजनेता भी तो नहीं मानते हैं।
नहीं मानते, but at least
Like you see nowadays, the ministers, they also do not listen to that.
बैलन कोई गोली मार देगा उसको।
So even in dictatorship, check and balance is there. Somebody will revolt and just shoot the dictator.
थोड़ा सा ये बेहतर दिख सकता है इसे, जस्ट वो थॉट रखने के लिए बताया बाबा जी, कुछ नहीं। देन फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज भी है ना बाबा जी, ये फंडामेंटल राइट्स के बारे में हम ज्यादा बात करते हैं।
So we talk of fundamental rights and duties in constitution. There are duties also. So does anybody know about his duty?
फंडामेंटल राइट्स आर वैलिड ओनली ओनली जब तक आप फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज निभाओगे, मतलब
लेकिन उसको तो किसी को बताते नहीं है ना।
So people are not taught about their duties. Everybody talks about his right only.
ठीक है,
जस्ट कॉन्टेक्स्ट को थोड़ा सा एलाबोरेट करना चाहता हूँ, क्षमा कर दीजिए मुझे।
और तो कुछ नहीं है।
जीवा की संतुष्टि के लिए जानवरों की हत्या करना तथा जानकर
Question:
या गलती से
for satisfaction of the jiva, killing animals.
क्या?
जीवा की संतुष्टि के लिए
Sorry, for satisfaction.
जीवा
जिह्वा।
For
जीवा की संतुष्टि के लिए
for
जानवरों
satisfaction of tongue,
से या
killing animals and or
जानवरों को मारना
by mistake killing mosquitoes, etc. Do both have same result? Answer: no. Obviously, both have don't have same result. The first one will have very grave consequences.
यूट्यूब से दूसरा प्रश्न है,
Next question:
हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र का गलियों या बाजार में तेजी से उच्चारण करना शास्त्रों के हिसाब से गलत है क्या?
is it wrong according to Shastra to chant Mahamantra loudly in the street? Answer: what is the link of this question with today's class? Please ask question that is relevant to the subject discussed in the class.
मैं कुछ भी करूँ लेकिन उससे प्रयोजन क्या है? गली में से मैंने कोई उसकी बात ही नहीं की यहाँ पे।
प्रश्न है, बाबा जी आपने जीव गोस्वामी जी के शब्द को कोट करते हुए कहा
Question: you were quoting Jiva Goswami ji and you said that the primary reason of dukkha is Bhagavad Vaimukhyata. Even after knowing this,
आकर्षित हो गया है कि ये मूल बात
the chitta is so much materially attracted that we forget this. Although the sadhana is said like Navada Bhakti, Vairagya, etc.,
इस बात को भी मन
but my mind forgets this and
भाव आ जाता है
gets into doership while performing duties. So in this, being immersed in this maya, what should I do so that we can turn from Vaimukhyata to Samukhyata and make our life successful?
आर्जवता से अपनी साधना करते रहिए तो उससे आपका
So answer: you should perform your sadhana diligently, but it takes time. So you need dhairya, patience also. Like Sri Rupa Goswami says, utsahat nishchayat dhairya tat karma pravartanat. So you should perform sadhana diligently, but with patience. It is not a magic stick.
एकदम से आपका मन जो है वो वैमुख्य से सामुख्य में आ
There is no
जाएगा।
such magic that instantly your mind will turn from Vaimukhya to Samukhya.
करोड़ों जिसकी कोई सीमा नहीं है, इतने
So
सारे
from since beginningless time,
सामुख्य
you cannot count how much time you have been away, turned away from Bhagavan. So now you want to turn towards Bhagavan. So obviously you have to do hard work and you have to have patience
जल्दी फल
and have faith. Those people who want very quick result, this is also a symptom of lack of Shraddha, desiring quick result.
फल में आसक्ति दिखाता है।
This also shows your attachment to the result. Quick result means my attachment is in the result,
और उस साधना में नहीं।
not in the sadhana.
आसक्ति को आप साधना में रखिए।
So you should become attached to the sadhana, not to the result.
अगर देखना है तो केवल इसलिए कि मैं कितनी
Seeing result should be only to the extent for our own self analysis, that how much I am progressing. Otherwise, generally people think that quickly I should get result. So this is also a type of attachment.
बताया ना मैंने, एक कर्म आसक्ति, एक फल आसक्ति और एक कर्तृत्व में आसक्ति।
As I said, there is attachment in the karma, the phala, the doership. So this is attachment to the result,
रहती है,
and many sadhakas have this attachment to the result
लगती नहीं है
because it is very subtle. It doesn't,
कि कैसे आ सकती
can't be seen very clearly.
है। आप अपनी साधना में निष्ठा करके
So you should have nishtha in your sadhana and continue that.
यूट्यूब से प्रश्न है, कर्मयोग का पालन करने के लिए कर्तव्यों की
Question:
जानकारी किन शास्त्रों से प्राप्त होती है?
for performing karma yoga, from which shastras do we get knowledge of the karma that we should do? Answer: from Bhagavad Gita only. Next question:
के लिए गुरु स्वीकार
for performing karma yoga, do we need to accept guru? Answer: yes, at least for understanding you need. Earlier, those who did karma yoga, they had brahmanas, advisors. They used to learn from the brahmanas. For learning anything, you need a coach or guide, whatever you call.
अगर आपके अंदर इतनी बुद्धि है कि आप स्वयं
If you have so much knowledge that you understand everything on your own, then you don't need the guru.
संदीप जी का प्रश्न है
Next
कि
question.
ऐसा भी दृश्य
Can there be a scenario where there are only duties and no rights? Like
उदाहरण
people give example of Shudras in Varnashram.
क्या उदाहरण है? उनका कोई अधिकार नहीं है?
So do you mean to say that Shudras don't have any rights?
कर्तव्य तो अधिकार भी है.
If they have duties, they have rights also. If they are doing seva, they also have rights to get their clothes, for residence, food. They have the rights. It's not that you just do seva and then you get kicked away from there.
बाबा जी महाराज वो दोष जो सेवा ले रहा है उसके ऊपर जाएगा ना, कि मतलब क्योंकि लोग इसका एग्जाम्पल देते हैं कि जैसे शूद्र थे उनको कोई राइट्स ही नहीं थी, वो सिर्फ अपनी ड्यूटी.
क्या राइट नहीं था?
So like people say that Shudras never have any rights. So answer, what rights do Kshatriyas have?
पालन करता है प्रजा का और मतलब रूल करता है.
वो तो उसका कर्तव्य है. वो
Ruling is his duty. How does that become his right?
राइट उसका मतलब जो भी सुविधाएं हैं रूल करने के लिए वो उसका उपयोग करता है.
तो वो ड्यूटी के कारण ही तो है उसका.
So he is getting those rights, those facilities for performing duty only. Like if a Shudra is doing seva, so you have to give him some facilities or no?
सुविधा जो ले रहा है वो तो सेवा के लिए ले रहा है.
Is getting facilities to do the seva only.
शूद्र क्या समझते हैं आपके? कोई झाड़ू लगाता वही शूद्र है?
What is your understanding of Shudra? Somebody is just sweeping, that is Shudra or what? Blacksmith, cobbler, goldsmith, potter, these are all Shudras. So do you think they have no rights or what?
चलो प्रार्थना श्लोक. सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपाल नंदनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्. एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्र गीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव. एको मंत्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा. कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः. यच्छ्रेयसा निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिर् ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः. नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांघ्रये. भवे भवे यथा भक्तिः पादयोस्तव जायते तथा कुरुष्व देवेश नाथस्त्वं नो यतः प्रभो. नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य सर्वपापप्रणाशनं प्रणामो दुःखशमनस्तं नमामि हरिं परम। हरि ओम तत्सत।